G'day everyone. Barkarati is now brought to you by Disruptor Marine Marketing, using AI to help your marine business grow. And our friends at Radix Nutrition, the most technically comprehensive nutrition products ever to exist. Unlock your potential with Radix. G'day listeners, welcome to Barkarati the Sailing Podcast. My name's Jordan Spencer and it's that time of the week where we get to hang out with some really cool sailors, but of course have to share the mic with my two idiot mates. So first off, let's welcome Mr. Brett Perry.
Greetings, exalted one.
BP.
Greetings.
Well,
done and dusted. Done and dusted is the words that come to mind. What a week.
The JJs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was good. It's always good. I don't recognise life by birthdays anymore. I reckon recognise it by the end of events. So I'm another year older because the JJs have just finished.
Oh, there you go. It just passes on. Yeah, I guess that's it. It's a good one. It's been going for what? The 18s ago. 90 years.
88 years. Yeah.
For the league, 88 years.
Well, I'm not that old, but.
Yeah. Well, you're not. You look it though, so that's good.
Yeah, I know. Feel it some days. I'll tell you what, I'd feel it if I did the JJs.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of tired people this morning. In fact, I know because I've been speaking to a couple of them.
Not sailing though.
No. There's a lot of questions we want to ask, but
yeah.
Let's see what the other bloke's doing.
He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr.
I did speak to him last night. He's in St. Bart's. He's very fired up. He's missing Barkarati, but he reckons communication is patchy at best, which I find hard to believe. All those bloody super yachts there with all their
with the highest level Starlink.
Yeah,
come on.
I figure he could be He's at the bottom of a glass somewhere, is what I'm guessing. But anyway,
what I reckon. I reckon the listeners now just know that that's how it is. They just know.
He's coming back though. He's back. He'll be back. So we're going to hold off on our Caribbean report because we don't know. We've left it all to him. It was his responsibility. But
he was writing that part of the script. He said he would, and we got nothing. Nothing. We've got 18s, we've got IQ foils, we've got AC boats, we've got the finish of the Golden Globe, but nothing on the Caribbean.
No. But we do have a good guest as well. I'm kind of fired up. Obviously, we're focused in on the JJ Giltonans, which is the big, effectively world champs for the 18-foot skiffs, which is an iconic class in Australia, and they do an amazing coverage where you can watch it. And we've all been watching the stream, weve been listening to all the commentary, and we've been watching the Barkarati boat go around, and we've been wetting ourselves about that. That's been pretty cool. I'm not sure how much our guest would enjoy the Barkarati boat. I think they had a few close calls at certain stages. But anyway, our guest is someone that I've got to know recently, and I've always respected and watched with joy her performances. And so we've got someone from the 18s who's just been exhausting themselves sailing for a week and then may or may not have been out till 4 or 5 in the morning celebrating the end of the regatta. We've held over till the morning of Monday so we can talk to them straight after racing, and right now they hate my guts. But anyway, our guest is the skipper of Club Marine. She's won national champs in match racing, in the NS14s, in the Hobies, the Formula 16s, and even placed on the podium in the Archipelago Raid, mate, which is my favourite thing.
I know. Yeah.
I get so fired up about that one, so I can't wait to talk about that one. But welcome to Barkarati, Emma Rankin. How are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you for having me on.
Are you sure you're good?
Just a bit of dust there. Just get rid of the dust.
There might be some moments where the brain just stops working. So I'm running on fumes.
Well, we appreciate you.
Listen. You deserve it. You deserve the brain to stop working after the week. I was lucky enough to be out there watching yesterday, and there was a lot of cheers as everyone came across the line. And of course, we were there watching, and we watched you come over the line, so it was good.
Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah, there was a good spectator crowd actually.
It was a good one, yeah.
Yeah, even though Yandy had already, they'd already clinched the title before the before Sunday. So.
Yeah. It was still but what a day. Anyway,
clenched or clinched? Is that like isn't clenched what you do with your butt?
He's restarting.
Hey, Em.
Yeah.
What was your outfit last night? What did you wear?
Oh, so theme last night was iconic duos and trios.
Right.
So we got the grand idea, me and the other one of the girls who does the videos, to do salt and pepper.
Oh.
So I was at Kmart yesterday buying colanders to put on our heads, and we went and had a little S and a P, and she went with white and I was pepper. So
there you go.
Yeah, it was great.
Love it.
And then my crew was like, "What are we doing?" And I was like, "Well, you guys can go as condiments if you want."
Oh.
And Brando just delivered. He the morning of, he turned up. He had like a hot spicy mustard suit, and a tomato sauce outfit, and it was so good.
Oh, that's funny.
Great.
That's funny because we'll talk about what the Barkarati boys did for theirs, because I laughed my head off when I saw that one. Was there any particular favourites you had, Em?
Oh, there was a lot of wizards, which was quite interesting. I think there must have been like a wizard party a few months ago, because all the boys were just they're all that.
Right.
And then there was a good one, the Ballard Properties team. They went as KFC. One was a chicken. One was is it Donald? Who's the KFC guy?
The Colonel.
Colonel.
Yeah,
Colonel Sanders.
he went as the Colonel. And then the other guy went as the chicken as well, so it was pretty funny.
Oh, you know what we would have gone as? If we'd attended, we would have gone as a pair of Crocs, BP.
Oh, yeah. What would Bossy have gone? The foot.
So for the listeners who aren't aware, the 18s have a big dress up as the presentation after the JJs. It is quite hilarious, some of the photos that come out. So if you haven't checked, I'm sure they'll be published soon once somebody wakes up from taking all those photos. Emma,
yeah.
How did you start sailing 18s?
Well, I started because the club actually put out a female opportunity. I don't think they knew what they were actually going to do at the start, but they basically wanted to get girls involved in the class, and it wasn't happening organically. So they put it out, and then they started doing training sessions during the winter, and they had one of the big dudes, Charlie Gundy, on the boat. It was like 110 kilos. You basically sail the boat on his own almost. And he had him.
A normal size bloke.
A normal size bloke. So it was him and 3 or 4 little girls all going sailing on an 18. And then then they sort of narrowed the group down, and they worked out that they wanted a skipper.
Mm-hmm.
So they picked me out of that group, and also Beck, and they sort of paired us with some experienced guys and some decent boats as well. So that's sort of how it all came about.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? Because so how did you start sailing?
I got into it just through a learn to sail program.
Wow, those learn to sail programs. Who was in Sydney?
Yeah, it was actually from school. So in primary school, they had a little learn to sail program down at Byra, which was paired with the primary school, and I also did Sea Scouts as well. So they did a lot of sailing, and just the two of those things, I really loved it. And then I was actually about to fall out of the sport because I didn't really have anywhere to go after doing the learn to sail program. And one of the old guys down the club, Henry, he was like, "Hey, there's somebody here who needs crew. Do you want to call him and see if you want to give it a go?" And then the rest has sort of been history. So.
Wow.
Was that on the NS?
It was, yeah, with Thorpe, with Mark.
Mark Thorpe. Wow.
Yeah. So just pure coincidence. I had no idea who he was, and how good of a sailor he is, and it's just perfect timing, really.
Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, And then, so like onto the NS, which is a sort of, quite tunable boat, and you've got to be really accurate with your body weight on an NS, don't you? Like everything's high aspect, so you got to be super accurate in your approach. So was that challenging for you?
Well, he was really good, so I think it made it quite easy. But no, we did. There was a lot of teamwork, and that's sort of been the start of sailing boats with other people, not single-handers. So that sort of like doing that when I was younger was really was really the start of it.
There would have been a lot of technique that you would have picked up on that you probably wouldn't have got if you were sailing, at a different level. That would have been the big one.
Oh yeah. Even just like how you move the main and the tiller and that combination to keep the boat flat and keep it going fast. Because like the bottom of an NS is like flat, so if you keep it on that flat surface, you're just playing along, and you can get to like 20 knots on a reach with that boat, which is with a little main and jib.
Yeah, little tiny main and jib.
Tiny little.
Great fun boats.
Beautiful boats. Yeah. I'm intrigued for non-Australians in NS14. If you think of a taser is like a 1970s version of an NS14, and now they're so much more advanced. But that size of boat, little two-hand, no spinnaker.
No spinnaker, yeah.
Yeah, but super efficient shapes and designs and rigs and all that.
And you get to pole your jib out on the downwind.
Yeah.
The old whisker pole it out there.
So, I know there's a whole world of catamaran sailing in between, but the difference or the dichotomy between an NS and an 80, they couldn't be more different boats, could they?
Oh, yeah. No, they don't. Yeah, they don't really relate. They do a little bit, but not the trapezing and the big kites. It's a whole different world.
I guess the question I've got is when did you move on, or when did you sort of have your first experience with the spinnaker? Because obviously the younger Emma Rankin was sailing the NS with no spinnaker, and then all of a sudden we see you now, blasting around the course on an 18. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, I got to like 18 years old, and then we'd been sailing the NS for 3 years, and I thought it was a really good idea. One of the other guys at the club was like, "Yeah, we should get a 49er."
Oh. Great idea.
So, $2,000 in each. We just chucked that in and got this boat, and we crashed and burnt. And this was like big rigs. We couldn't afford the FX, so this was like the whole kit.
Shooting match. The whole shooting match.
The whole shooting match. Yeah, and we spent 2 years flopping, capsizing, and we went to nationals, and we really stuck with it, and that was where I learned how to trapeze, and how to kind of get hold of the whole power, keep be able to manage all the power you've got, and stupid.
That's a big step though. That's a big learning curve. I mean, I remember my first times on the 49ers. There was some hairy moments.
Oh yeah. We crashed a lot, and we broke the boat a lot.
You're not scared. You're not scared of having a go, Emma, are you?
No. I don't hold back. I don't think I've ever, never said no.
Never
Give it
said.
A go. It's a bit like saying yes to this podcast.
Come on.
Good.
I could understand how this would be a lot more scarier than holding an 18-foot skiff kite in 25 knots down the harbour.
Yeah, there's a bit of terror in that.
I reckon if you had to describe it, like if I could give an image, like the NS would be like an ice skater doing an Olympic competition, and an 18 would be like a big Mack truck that's lost control on the ice. That's how I describe it.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with like one of those, those bulls that you can hop on at a party.
Yeah, bucking bull. So what was your first thought when you sailed the 18? Like when you first went out with that little, I guess it was the Academy it was called, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah. Oh, what was my first set? There's a lot of thinking this is insane. Why am I doing this?
Why am I doing this?
And And it was a particular moment because I actually fell off the boat in like near Steel Point, and they couldn't find me for like 10 minutes.
What?
And I was like, what am I doing? This is silly. I had to get picked up by a yacht. It was quite funny, actually. I got offered a beer on the yacht. I was like, no. I had to get back on the boat. And I guess I just sort of stuck with it and was like, we'll just keep seeing where this goes, because it's such an epic, boat. It has so much. Everyone knows it. It's got this lore, and you got to kind of get past that. I guess it's the same thing with the 49er. You got to get past that whole hurdle of this is insane. This is out of control. And then you start sailing with people who've been sailing the boats for 10 years, and they've all got a way of sailing them. They all know how to keep them in control. And it's probably one of the most unique things with the class is that everyone's sailed with each other. So everyone's sort of on the same page, and they all know how to do maneuvers the same. They all communicate the same on the boat, and it means that everyone can just jump in when someone needs a fill in, or there's just not that kind of camaraderie anywhere else in any other class I've ever sailed. So that's it's quite a cool element.
It is a cool thing, and so we had Simon Nern on last week, and he was talking about how people can come down. He was quite encouraging of people to come down. They're looking to, they keep their fleet going. They've got sponsors. If you're interested, if you're young, if you're female, come down and do the 18s. And so for you, you've sort of gone through different crew. You started, I think you were Shaw and Partners originally, and now you've got the Club Marine sponsorship. How does that all work?
Well, the sponsorships are organised by the club, and so when I started with the academy, they ended up just pairing me with Shaw and Partners because that boat needed a crew, and Tom Quigley had the boat at that point, and so we sort of teamed up for that season, and it worked quite well. And then I had it the following year, but really struggled with crew and getting the boat on the water and things like that. And then Shaw and Partners, I guess they wanted the boat to do better, so they've chucked a whole bunch of money at it, and they asked for Keegan. So the sponsors have a lot of, I guess it's how much interest they have in the class, how well they want the boat to do, and that sort of, it's always a bit of a negotiation with the club and with the sailors, how it all sort of ends up. But Simon is a big part of that. He runs all those sponsorships. He has that discussion, and I sort of go to him and say, hey, this is what I want to do, or hey, I've got a team. How does that work with who you're talking to? And Club Marine was one of them. And so when Shaw and Partners sort of wanted to pivot, I was like, that's fine. They want to do well. And Club Marine sort of came into the picture after that, and they were really interested in the whole female aspect. And it sort of lined up, and they went, yeah, okay, we'll sponsor.
That's cool.
So,
perfect.
Yeah, so it's a very organic process, how it all kind of comes about. So, but yeah.
Kudos to Club Marine. Good on you guys. I think that's super cool. And so, from your perspective, if you were talking to young sailors or female sailors out there, you would be very encouraging by the sounds of it, because it's been kind of easy.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely had an express run. The club has, made it happen, and tried to give me the best sort of tools to sail well and to learn as quickly as possible. I still think it's going to be a challenge if any girl just comes down and says, hey, I want to sail, but the club doesn't know if you're interested unless you tell them.
Well, that's a really big point. Ultimately, and for international listeners who don't know much about the class effectively owns the boats, and effectively a contract is signed by the skipper and the team to turn up every Sunday. I mean, that's the key to it, and as you said, you struggled with crew, and that is it's a massive commitment to the length of the season. And there's a lot of effort on your behalf. So
it's huge. Yeah, it becomes my whole life for pretty much 6 months.
Yep.
Or the whole season. So yeah, it's not a small undertaking. And I every time I like sit down and I think about signing that contract, like, oh God, here we go. But then you're like, no, but this is really cool.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and to be honest with you, I've done a little bit of the 18s, but never on a contract. But the commitment that you guys all have, it does create the atmosphere. And as I said yesterday, I went out and watched it. There was a lot of spectators out there. The ferries, obviously, and then obviously all the powerboats burning up and down and around the place. But it is a huge spectacle on the harbour, and something that I hope never goes away. I said that to the guys. I said, I hope this keeps going. And in the case of females, I hope it keeps going the way it's going.
Yeah, I think it's epic, and I think it will. I think it will keep going. I think there's so much. It's just there, and people recognise it, and it's and the sort of the system is there to support it, and the club is just throws the money at it to make it happen. And because you can't do it on your own, it's just not
100%. No, 100%. Yeah. Is this something that perhaps now? I mean, we'd consider you established now in the fleet. We'd consider you. I don't know what your situation is. I don't know how many more years you're going to do, but ultimately, you'd be kind of like the stalwart, if you like, in this sort of era. Is there talk about trying to do more academies and more promotion to get more females in?
I am hearing stuff. Nothing's like been announced or anything yet, but they know that they want to push the academy. I think during the winter this year, and get more people in. Because I've said to the club, I'm like, hey guys, I'm struggling to find people. Like we've got to do something. We've got to get some sort of initiative to like teach people, because it's so hard to get a new person on board on a race day and then try and perform. And then you've got to try and look your sponsor in the eye and say, yeah, we're doing great. And you're like, oh.
we're finishing each race. No, that's not, which if you think about it from our point of view, finishing a race on one of those boats it's no mean feat. It's a full-on effort. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. We had I've got a plane coming over. So I'm actually sitting at the 18s club. We had a massive westerly this year, and I think we were the only ones that came back with a main up. And Simon was like, "Oh, good job," Everyone else is getting towed in, and I'm like, that would never in any other class. That's not an achievement. But it's what it is.
Well, I can tell you, if you're saying the wind was that hard and everyone's getting towed in, it is an achievement, because they are a beast in wind.
Oh yeah, they're just a handful. Well, I don't think there was a lot of damage done that day, but
yeah,
we got to go out. That's the thing,
I've had my most terrifying moment on an 18. So, what about establishing yourself in the fleet when you turned up? Was there any resistance at all, or was it just really open?
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect when I started in the class. It was quite overwhelming, and to be honest, it was really welcoming. I thought maybe there might be a little bit of maybe some macho-ness or anything, but it's a super young group of people, and everyone was very chill and willing to help. I mean, I think people were like, oh, there's like lots of new faces, and it's sort of everyone's trying to like introduce each other and stuff. But no, it was great. It was honestly, it was just a lot of fun, and people supported it as a class, because it's not been like women have been in the class before.
Yep.
Like Yvette has been part of the class for a long time, and she was sailing before, and she was part of the academy, getting that going in the background.
Yvette Heritage,
yeah.
Well, then of course we've got Adrian, back in the day.
Oh yeah. She was down, I think, yesterday as well. I saw her in the park.
She was the icebreaker. What she did in the league days was insane.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Sorry, Emma.
Another plane. Are you?
Another plane coming.
You're trying to escape. You're going to get on a seaplane.
Well, just I've been watching them all clean up from last night.
Yeah.
So it's all the tequila. I mean, the like drinks.
Oh, the old hose out of the boat shed.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a bit like that.
I think in that academy was also Jessica Crisp, who's another iconic female sailor who was just such a champion windsurfer.
Yeah,
she was so far in front of everybody. She was amazing.
Yeah, and she's missed here because she did a lot of the admin and sort of running of the club, and it's really. I don't think it's like everyone who's in the background is doing a great job, but it's a bit missed. Yeah, she did such a good job of running it, just understanding everything.
So, we sort of focus on this female thing for a little bit. I think I'm at the end of that. I want to hear about how your racing went. But before we do go to that question, are there any advantages, you reckon, to when you're sailing the boat that you have as a female?
Ooh, yeah, I think so. Light winds has been my specialty, which we'll probably chat about. Just because, you get on the wire quicker, and everyone else is still like two stringing. That's been a huge benefit. And then one of the big things with JJ's is that where you are in the boat park is done by a lottery.
Right.
And so this year I was a bit cheeky. I'd messaged in the group chat. I said, "So is there any benefit, like any do we get bumped up because we're women and we get close to the ramp?"
Oh, you played that card.
I played that card. And these boats are bloody 175 kilos lift. Yeah. So they're not light, and they've never done it before. So they've never given me special treatment, or me or Beck, and they did this year. So I was like, oh my god, we got the spot.
Personally, I don't have a problem with that because I know how hard they are to get in and out of that double bay beach. It's full on.
Heavy bastards.
If I could change anything with the class, that would be one of those things. It's just not having to lift the boats because it's such a it's backbreaking.
Yeah. Yeah. Traumatizing. I don't even know how you'd comprehend doing it actually, Emma. Like it is a lot of work, and going down that little ramp. Yeah, that's full ball. I love it.
Yeah. I usually get rescued by one of the guys.
That's cool.
On the way out, but you have to put it in yourself.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the big things that sort of is also that holds back women getting into the class a little bit. Gotcha. And I think a lot of people actually, because it is something that it's actually quite dangerous, and but it's part of the 18 experience. I think so. Yeah.
Emma, can you tell everyone what your job is?
Yes, I work in the marine industry for Contender Sailcloth, and we've got the company imports cloth into the country, and we sell it to all the sailmakers around Australia and in Asia as well. And we have like two 12-meter cutting tables with like CNC cutters on them. Yep. And so I run those cutters. So sailmakers send me files, and I cut the cloth for them and ship it to them. Now,
the reason I'm asking this, because I knew that. Many times you see 18 sails being cut out in front of you? Your competitors?
Many times.
Okay. Yeah. You ever felt like bumping the cutter as somebody? Yeah.
It has crossed my mind. for one or two people, I'm like, oh god, those cars are annoying.
Change the A to A to A to B instead of A to A.
I might just switch the numbers around, so when they're
that's it.
80, 78 or something, and it's the actual wrong way around.
I love it.
She's got a funny leech profile, this one. What's that square bit sticking out in the mid leech?
I thought actually about like writing. You can get like the text function in the panels. I thought maybe I should just write some like little hidden.
I love
ultimate
that.
banter, Jay.
That's a whole nother level.
Banter.
Emma, you're a genius. I love that.
Imagine the things you could say. They roll out the sail for the first time, and just something completely. Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
That's funny. That's funny. I'll tell you what, if there are any of the blokes that have got long-term relationships that haven't asked their partners yet, the girls will be onto you straight away going, can you put a "will you marry me" message in there so that that's on the sail sort of.
Oh, imagine Imagine mine. When you get home, you've got to clean the bloody.
No, that's a genius one. I think we've found a whole new sport. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
So, from the perspective of the regatta, Emma, let's talk about racing and sailing and stuff. Do you want to talk us through your regatta?
Yeah, I can do.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's been a really, really challenging regatta.
Yeah.
But it's so competitive and really awesome in terms of the actual sailing. You know, the JJ's is like the pinnacle. You work towards it, but at the same time, it's so different because you don't just have 16 boats on the start line; you have 28. And then any type of issue you have in your boat speed or your boat positioning,
it's noticed.
It's brought to forefront straight away. And you make one little error and then you're just out of the pack. And
yes.
And we struggled a lot to hold a lane and have speed off the line. We could start in the spot we wanted to, and then we just would crawl back. And it's all there on the video, so you can't escape it. So you get a call from your mates, who have Bo been sailing catamarans with, and going mate, your boat's so slow. I'm like, you can't run away from it.
Okay, so how do you answer that question? I mean, did you sort of did you spot a reason why there was you were unable to hold your lane? Is it just the fact that there's so many boats, or was it something with setup, or what was this sort of?
Yeah, I think it's it's a setup thing. So sorry. When we started this year, we had about 8 weeks. We were waiting for the white boat to turn up from Europe, and I also decided to keep my rigs from the old red boat that I had with Shore and Partners, just because they were slightly different and they matched with the sails I had because of a whole bunch of other reasons. With you're only allowed 3 new sails, so all the sails on that platform were being taken with Keegan. So I was sort of just getting the platform, that was it, and I kept all my sails, my rigs. So I had to set those masts up in that boat, and it took a little while to get that right, and then sort of got it pretty in the ballpark, and then you start tinkering, and I think I've tinkered it into being slower, not faster. So,
the old overthinking trick,
The old overthinking, yeah. And I was talking, the club has had Ewan McNichol this year as a coach, and he's been fantastic. And he's got to coach the whole fleet
right.
and give them all advice. But it's been really good because he's actually given us base numbers to sort of work towards. And then when I tell him, hey, this is what I've got, he goes, oh, you're actually you've gone too far there, I think. And he goes, if you come off 4 turns on your caps and things like that, then you'll bring it back. And so that's what we sort of did towards the end of the regatta, and particularly with a number 2 rig was really fast yesterday. Freed the whole boat up, and it was so much easier to sail. So these tiny little changes make such a big difference.
That's a huge point, because it is exactly right. I mean, if you're not in the right tune phase, you can fall on your jib, and then you come up looking for it, then you get lifted by your main, then you fall back on your jib, and it's a non-stop battle. But when you get it right, you're just threading the needle.
Yeah, exactly. You look at Yandu, and it looks like they're not even trying.
Yep.
Boat just tracks straight, and it just goes fast, and then you look back further and further in the fleet, and you can see people fighting, trying to keep the boat tracking and going quickly. So yeah, it's a bit of an art, and I'm still learning it. I've learned a lot this year doing it and setting the rigs up and things like that. But yeah,
I was going to ask Emma if you did have a coach, but if you got Ewan McNichol, I mean, just in my memory, I think he's been a 14 skiff world champion, a 49er world champion. I think he's won the...
He goes okay.
He's won the 18s. He's a super talented sailor. So what you need to do is use your little blackmailing thing, I'm a girl, can you give me a little bit extra sort of thing, and try that trick on him, because he's a good coach.
Yeah, and it's been quite... you can kind of see that his effect has actually brought the whole fleet up a lot more. He really like the reason JJ's has been so good and so competitive this year is, I think, a big part of him sharing that knowledge and everybody actually going, okay, where are you at? Where am I at? Oh, I'm quite far off here. Like, I'm not even close, you know?
Yeah, right.
And
Well, we
use that
did
knowledge.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, you go.
Oh, I was going to say, Fang actually brought that up last week when we chatted to him. I don't know if you listened to that discussion, but he said that the effort they'd put in over the last few years, in sail shape and in bits and pieces, does no matter what, gets passed on, and the level of the performance of all the boats is increasing, so much so. And the question I asked was, so how do you keep that step ahead? And he said, look, in the end, it comes down to sailing the boat, which is exactly true. But what you're saying there is the sharing of knowledge, and I think you bang on about it a bit in the 5-0s, Jay, that sharing of the knowledge only makes the fleet stronger, and that's an important thing.
Yep. It's the way to do it.
Because it's pretty disheartening when you're sitting there and you're like, okay, how do I do this? Like, what do I do? And you spend years trying to figure it out, when you can just ask someone and they can tell you.
100%. I'm all for it. I mean, I'm all for having, because I mean, you go out and you watch it yesterday, and the level of sailing was phenomenal. You could see, but you could definitely see the battlers. That wasn't the issue. But the 2/3 of the fleet, are up there, and they're getting around the track with precision.
Yeah, and they're not that far off, like Yandu's speed, and they're there. So, yeah.
Emma, who if we look through the fleet and the racing, who stood out for you? Were there any boats that you were going, oh yeah, they're doing great? Best I'm looking for the most improved sort of feel, because obviously the winners did great, but who are you have gone, oh yeah, they're going good?
Yeah, probably the biggest mover was the kitchen maker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good one. Yeah.
They had a bit of a crew change, and this is the thing with the sponsorship. If the boat's not performing, then sometimes things have to change to make that happen, and that's unfortunately what sort of happened there. And the two guys that hopped on, they actually put in like 7 or 8 training sessions, like maybe 3 weeks before the JHAs happened, and they really stepped up. Just I went, oh gosh, those guys are stepping on. Oh, now we're in trouble.
Right.
One more boat to race against.
Yeah. So they finished 10th, and they had a best of second, I think, in race 3, and then a third in the second last race is my memory of it.
Yeah.
Just off the top of your head. Well, I mean, I'd like to sort of just come in on that question, Jay. And I was out watching yesterday. The Black Knight guys, the Prince, he was blisteringly quick yesterday.
Constantly.
Yeah, they've done so much work.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
In the off season, they did a lot of work with Baz, and they were there every day. Andy, the bowman, getting that boat set up to scratch.
What was really cool yesterday was, I think we had GC Sales, we had the Black Knight, and we had Shaw and Partners New Zealand. The first 3 around the top mark, the second and third time. No Sydney boats, and the first 3, and that was.
And guess who was number 4? The Mighty Palace.
I know, but
Jamoyne Sailing Club.
Yeah,
the Vycobi.
But the point is, it goes back to your original point, Emma, about all the development that's been going on, and it's good for the class. It's great.
Yeah.
Those GC Sail guys.
By the way,
Sail guys were my standout. I was so impressed.
The Cunninghams
Mm.
with Joel.
But I wasn't so surprised because I sailed with Joel last year.
Oh, he can sail.
And he can sail. I was like, as soon as I found out that they were teaming up, I was like, oh God. I was like, you guys are going to be so good.
Yeah, they were impressive yesterday. I've got to say, I got into trouble yesterday as well because I was actually on the boat with Carol Stevenson, which is Andrew's mum, who is the main sheet on Vycobi, and we didn't mention them last week. So there you go, Carol. If you're listening, I've just mentioned Vycobi. and Patrick Langley, he's probably going to get a little bit of a laugh out of it too.
We owe Pat so much at the moment. I'll call you, Pat. I've heard you were sick, so I didn't call you, but I'll call you, Pat, and sort some stuff out.
Yeah, no, he's good again. He was down in the park.
Yeah, of course he was.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah. I told him I was going to be on the podcast, and he goes, "What? Like, tomorrow?" Like, I was like, "Yeah, look." He was going to send you a message or something.
Yeah. Dolly sent me a message and he said, like, who's the poor bastard that's coming on the show? And I wrote back, like I was going to say, and my sympathies for the poor person coming on the show, but I didn't. So in my little announcement last week. I do want to touch on you having a go, Emma. So there's a couple of things. One, that archipelago raid, which is like, it's crazy. But then you also did the Hobart on the Maritimo Catwincher or whatever it was, that stupid little wooden 32-footer that you did the
121-year-old boat.
My God. And you were on the bow, I'm guessing, that photo of you up front? Like steering?
Sort of, we all did a bit of different jobs on board, but yeah, no, we shared the jobs around.
You're crazy.
That is an amazing effort. I mean, being on that boat in those conditions. I did the Cabbage Tree race, and I think we were coming in the heads, and we heard you guys just got around Cabbage Tree Island. So I was like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, it's not quick, and the water is so close to you.
Yeah,
like you look down, and you're like, "Oh, it's right there."
Right there. What about the archipelago raid? Tell us about that. Like, because that was you and Bo White, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
And like, just say, because you won't brag, I know that. So you raced, and there were the top three were all within 1 point, and you were third, I think. Like, just rocked up and smashed it.
Yeah, we did. I think we surprised ourselves because we really didn't know where we'd end up, and we'd never. Like, it's totally different than what you do. Your windward leeward racing. You're trying to navigate through like 30,000 rocks and try not hit into them. And there's no tide in the archipelago, so it all just sort of, you can't. And there's no waves, so you don't see the rocks. They're just a little bit below the surface, and it's this brown black water.
Yeah.
And it was enormous fun. We had an absolute. We loved it because it was like 6 days of sailing, and
I'm so jealous.
If you ever get a chance to do it, I like highly recommend it. But it's a navigational challenge like no other. We were using the Garmin watches, and I'd have the you can put like your route in to the watch, so you can see like the line, and then it will come up with all the rocks and stuff is just little X's. So you're trying to sail along and you're trying to like look at the watch. And then it kept going into power save mode.
Oh no.
Every like 5 minutes. So I'd go to Bo and like press the button to stop it going into power save mode, and then go back and be like trying to.
Wow.
And then Bo had the iPad strapped to his chest as well.
Yeah.
So
like drop it down. I've seen how they do that.
Drop it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we borrowed one of the guys that was like one of the Swedish sailors' equipment. So we hired that, and then, but the days are so long, so you do like legs throughout the day. So we do 2 or 3 legs, have a break in between. Then you have to get the power pack out to charge the iPad, else the iPad would go down, and then you'd have no nav, and you would just sailing in a minefield.
Wow.
Not knowing where the rocks are. And we did find one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we did. I don't recommend taking a new boat.
No.
Or recommend taking spare rudders and centerboard.
And repair pit kits. Did you talk to the Barcarati guys at all in the 18s?
Yeah, we were. They had their spot right next to us.
Okay, cool. So, did you know Harvey? I think he tried to do that race, the one that you got in the top 3, but they crashed on the way to the event. They didn't even get off the boat in the water.
Yeah. Because he came up to me and said, "Oh, you did the archipelago." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, we were one of the boats that had the crash," because the attrition rate for that regatta was insane. Like there was 2. He had 2 boats with him, and that they had that accident. So that was 2 boats gone. And then second day, the Kiwis hit a rock,
right.
and they were out. The next day we hit a rock, but we managed to keep going and didn't sink. And then the final day, on the final leg into like Sandringham, I think it was, one of the Swedish guys on a red Scorpion also hit a rock and it also sank. It was like, and there's only 8 boats left.
Wow. Crazy. It's such a crazy event. And I mean, anyone listening to this, Emma, like they must, for those who, a lot of people exposure to you would be just this young lady steering the Club Marine. But hopefully after this discussion, people realise that you're hardcore, like you're out there, you're this, in person, you're this quiet, you look quiet and seen, but you just go for it. You're an amazing human being. It's super cool. You remember when we first met and you're going, you're so excited to meet me, and I'm going, so excited to meet you, Emma,
Yeah. Well, you were like, oh, I'm Jordan. And I was like, I swear I know this voice, like from, from somewhere. And it didn't click until I was like, oh my God. So
that's what Bicey gets all the time. I know that voice. Yeah.
That voice. You know him by your voice. I can't sneak in anywhere now. But hey, Emma, it's super cool. We're, as you know, I'm a fan. And we're fans now. So we're pretty happy to share your story on bar karate, and we're going to keep following you and all the adventures you go on, and wish you the absolute best. But go and get some more water on board and catch up on some sleep. But thank you for...
I'm going to have breakfast and get a bit of a hangover cure, I think.
Yeah, I think. But appreciate you making the effort. It's been unreal.
Oh, and likewise. I've been a big fan of the podcast for a long time. So thanks so much for having me on.
You're welcome. See you soon.
All right. Cheers. See you. Bye.
Cheers, Em.
Bye.
That was a good one, BP.
Oh, look, nothing but respect. And as I said, I was out there yesterday, and the cheers, the cheers of every single boat crossing the finish line was superb. And, in particular on our boat, we were, it was 2 males and the rest were females. So it was kind of, there was that element. But, yep. It's super cool.
Obviously, what else was super cool was the fact that there was a boat running around with bar karate, being called bar karate, and the amount of our investment was minimal, and the guys just came through massively, and they were having a ball, like they were writing in for coaching tips, and Harvey is like a high performance coach for the British Sailing team, and he's sending notes. What coaching tips you got? I'll just have fun, and I just thought that the boys, it was good, it was a great thing. And so we thought we'd reach back out to Harvey. Obviously, his ears might have been burning, seeing we just were bagging you on the show. But yeah, we've got him back just to talk about the bar karate experience. And welcome back onto the show, my friend.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Sort of 2 weeks later, and it's been a pretty amazing trip.
I could imagine. I could only imagine. And last night to boot, so there's a bit of dust on the.
Oh yeah, you guys have been best on ground with your outfits, mate. I tell you, they were great.
Yeah, last night was a fancy dress party, and they put on a great show. And it's because it's the last day of the season for the 18s, so all the guys get a little bit loose. So the club was. The club's going to have some cleaning today. I think it was the floors were pretty lubed by the end of the evening with some forced floor sliding. I mean, actually, it was pretty impressive. You guys could probably enter a curling team from the 80-foot skiff team, except with human curls. It was or the rocks rather. Yeah, it was good night out, good fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Of course. We touched on it earlier for the listeners. It's a dress-up party on the last night, and we did take note, and we're very impressed with your effort. Obviously. The convict and General MacArthur, I assume it's supposed to be. So you being the convict with your little handcuffs on made of straw.
Yeah, it went down well. We got some good abuse on the way down to the club last night from people driving past. So I'm glad the Aussie humour kind of understood our costume.
Well, I can tell you we need more of it. So it was good. It was good to see. Okay, well. I was lucky enough to get out there last weekend, obviously after my racing finished, and see you as I discussed. And I saw you burning around the track would have been day 2. We didn't get a chance to see day 1, but day 2 was quite windy. You were battling away there. And again, lucky enough to get out yesterday. we understand that you got the boat for the first time and you're out there and you're doing it, but you were sailing brilliantly yesterday.
Yeah, sailing the Northeaster is just such a special thing to do. And
I did say that yesterday, didn't I? Yesterday morning, I said you're in for it.
It's incredible.
Yep.
And the 18 does this thing that is kind of unique because it kind of rides pretty bow up. And as soon as you start jumping waves and you start getting the double bounce, it is just a special experience. So to finish our last day of the regatta with a good, strong Northeaster and some good flapping around Shark Island, it was a fantastic day. And I'm not sure if you saw the run into the finish yesterday, but everyone was fully arced up. Trying to make it to the finish line.
What a flagging, bit of underlay going on there, wasn't there?
Bit of underlay. It was just a fabulous day on the water.
Not a Spanish word, Jay.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I like that. Underlay. That'd be a good name for a boat.
It would. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for your support through the week. It's been really cool flying the Barcarati flag. It's certainly generated a good amount of banter in the boat park. We've really enjoyed being part of your coverage.
You got, obviously there's a couple of Barcarati fans on the commentary boat. I know obviously we've had Dolly on the show, but Jimmy as well was Barcarati. They were both quick to jump out and yell out Barcarati as it was going around because whatever random sail you had on there, and so they had to make sure that it was. But you guys, it would have been. You could see you were getting, after race one, there was you were a bit off the pace, and race two, you worked a few things out, and you were starting to get better, and then you go into different conditions, so you had a different rig, so you had to go through it again, and, you're just going round and round in the process. And then there were a couple of funny days where, you had moments of glamour where I thought, oh, here we go, on to the lead. And then, then they cancelled that one of those races, and then you go the wrong side sometimes. It was pretty full bore, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and I think we pretty much reached the ceiling of our performance for this week. I think finishing sort of around the 15s was probably the best we could do, just because particularly on the unstable days, just our boat was just a little bit harder to sail, and I mentioned at the beginning of the week, we're so focused on trying to sail the boat well that often we can't get our head out of the boat to sail the boat really well in the gusty conditions. And probably the biggest challenge was sailing in the was at Southerlies with the big holes, and actually responding to a lull is probably the hardest thing. And we had one incident with
it's so quick when you smash into that lack of apparent air, and all of a sudden you got nothing.
Exactly. And then throw a Manly ferry in there as well. We had one of those. It was a little bit traumatic. Oh yeah. But then we had days where probably some of those really tight three sailors where you're trying to get over one boat and get out from another boat, and it's really exciting, just super cool racing. And it was a pleasure to be out there.
But if you look at your results, Jay always bangs on about his results, and he likes to see consistency. He doesn't like to see win. But if you look at your results, you finished 20th overall.
Win, but you tend to take, unless you've got massive boat speed advantage, if you've got same boat speed and you've got win, well, then you're taking massive risk, and that means I just like to control risk. It's all mathematical, BP. I can.
I know, but I'm saying
Harvey would say the same thing. He's a coach. He knows what I'm talking about.
I'm being positive towards you here.
Okay, sorry, bud.
So I'm looking at your results, and okay, let's be absolutely truthful. You came 20th overall, which is top two-thirds, which is exactly where you want to be, right? No, it's a fantastic. That was considering.
Yeah, I thought you did really well. I was pretty impressed.
Yeah, 100%. 2020 is, as we said, you started at that sort of level, and you did improve. To get up to some 15th, so there in the group, it's a bloody phenomenal result, to be honest.
And you beat the Germans.
Yeah. It was a fantastic result, and we weren't here for. We knew realistically we weren't going to compete with the top half of the fleet, but we were here to just have that experience of sailing 18s on the harbour, and have a few good races, which we did do. And I think any other team thinking about coming out and trying to do this event, you've really got to give it a go, because it is just the most incredible event to sail. The boats are great, and the atmosphere and the camaraderie is fantastic.
Yeah, cool. Oh well, we're glad you did it, mate. And what was there was a couple of things, like, were there any standout things that you noticed, like from your coaching brain or your competitive sailor brain? You know, you're a world champion. When you were watching, knowing you couldn't go super well, like, was it the way Yandu was sailing, or was what? Like, I was watching. There's a couple of things that stood out to me, and I'm interested what jumped out to you.
Do you know, there's I mean, obviously you look at Yandu and they've got a team that have sailed together for a long time. Everything was super smooth. The rig looked really, really good.
Yep.
From what I could see, they were quite a long way away.
Yeah.
But I thought Scotty Cunningham was looking super good as well.
Yep.
And you wonder, you know, because the big rigs are pretty big now, and you wonder what weight you should be sailing the boat at. And I think those guys are probably a little bit heavier, and they can swing it in those medium conditions, top end of a big rig. I actually think they think their big rig's not as quick as some of the others, but they looked like they were sailing the boat really, really well. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And I think I didn't really get close enough to the front of the fleet to see what else would make a difference.
One of the things that I was sort of frustrated, I think, with Keegan, you know, that team with Tom and Max, pretty talented team, and I think they've stopped sailing their race and focused too much on Yandu, and that was from a coach. If I was coaching, I would have tried to get them to. They kept covering from like 5 or 6 races out, and I think that's just a major mistake, because it's like when you watch Formula One, you go backwards. You know, you don't tend to sail as fast when you focus on someone else. So,
particularly in the conditions we've had this week. I mean, as soon as you're sailing the boats around you, then you're really making it harder for yourself to sail the conditions.
Yeah, but it was good. It was great watching. You know, like, and the other thing is that makes it appealing for us is, one, the boats are moving all the time. You don't get they don't sit, even when it's no wind, they're still moving. But the coverage, you know, we get that fantastic TV coverage. You know, we got, you know, what they Dylan, my mate Dills, good South Australian boy from Port Lincoln, flying that drone in right next to you. You know, like doing an amazing job. The commentary, you know, it's fantastic. And then you got all the traffic on the harbour as well. It's not like a normal open world course where you got 2 kilometres away from everything. Everything's within 20 metres of you. You know, it's amazing.
Yes. I think 2 things that stood out for me. One was there was an English guy that had flown out just for the event, and he must have been in his late 70s, 2 walking sticks, and he just came down to the boat park every day, and, you know, the guy was just thrilled to be there.
What boat was he sailing?
No, he wasn't sailing, he was there to watch. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Sorry, yeah. He did drop a good line, though. He said, adventure before dementia.
Not a nice way to talk about your crew, mate.
Yeah.
Adventure before dementia. I love it.
Yeah, he was pretty cool. To see the 2 girls sailing. I got a couple of videos to send back to my daughter, because she was so inspired by not just the 18s, but to see it open up for female sailors to mix it with the boys, and that was super cool. And my daughter's been watching at home and just thought it was just the best thing ever. Yeah, cool. So
that's good, because that's what
very cool.
That's one of the main points of discussion that we just had, obviously having Emma on. Cool.
Your ears might have been burning with the whole discussion about the archipelago road. Is there any response you want to put out there, my friend?
No, I think Archie's going to be. He's only just getting over it. Actually, he's still pretty dark about it. Yeah, I mean that's one to go back. There's another event in Brittany which also sounds really cool.
Oh, yes.
Same sort of format, same raid format. I think this one, you don't sleep in tents for this one. You stay in hotels every night, and they have a nice dinner every night. But I think that's one to go back and revisit, because sailing's about trying to do as many different things as possible, isn't it?
Yeah, especially now. You know, like that sort of, you've done all that hard training, that hard Olympic stuff, and as you're coming out the other side of all that sort of stuff, the more adventure stuff, and that's one of the things that I keep harping on the show, because I think that's the secret to keeping people in the sport, doing different things, you know, making it fun and lots of adventure stuff. I think that's the next path. We need to really get into that.
100%. I think we talk so much about where our sport is, the state of sailing, and I think one of the things that we the number of people participating in each country in organised sailing events is the key metric. And I think the more we can do to get people back on the water, club sailing or doing different formats of events, we've just got to try and increase the number of people on the water.
Yeah, well, let us know about that Brittany one, because I tell you what, I'd be keen to do something like that. That'd be cool. Very cool. I'm not sure 110 kilos is necessarily going to be great in light winds and heavy tide, but we'll see.
Be good on the bow of an 18, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
With the big
it's not
head.
the size and weight that's the issue. It's the fitness.
I'm still a monster BP. No, I'm nowhere near what I used to be. No, let's move on. Hey, Harv, we'll leave it there, bud. Absolute.
Guys, thank you very much.
Ton of fun, mate. We're so proud of you guys. It killed us seeing the British flag on there, but we embraced it. It was just so good. So good. I think you guys were awesome.
Cool. Well, thank you both very much, and hope to catch you in the UK in the summer.
Yeah. There's a fair chance I'll be there in July, so I'll let you know.
Nice one. Cheers, guys.
See you, buddy.
Good on you, mate. Have fun. Well done to the boys. Cheers.
Nice one, BP.
Well, no need to sort of bang on about it anymore. But what a successful week it was. You've got obviously from Emma's point of view, and then obviously from Harvey's point of view, they've both had a great experience. The racing in general was superb.
The reverse curse worked.
The reverse curse. Well, we haven't touched on that yet, have we?
No. Those guys
I was out on the water
yesterday.
Without us. Oh, yeah, they were nowhere near it. Should have seen them should have seen them out training before he came on the show. They were just wobbly. It was just the difference. It was the difference. Dear. I do have a bone to pick with them, however.
Oh yeah.
Yes, with their level of brilliance on the water for the week, which was notably visual. At the end of the day yesterday, the winner flies a ribbon, a blue ribbon off the top of the sail. So you hoist it up on your spinnaker halyard, and it flies off the top of the sail, and they do just a little victory lap around the spectator boats, and it's a very enjoyable part of the celebration of the winner of the JJs. Well, they've hoisted it, but they got it caught between the forestay and put it up on the windward side, and it's a long ribbon, and it went from the top of the mast straight down to the forestay, and it didn't come out. But anyway, it was
poor execution.
But it was fun. We'll talk about the results in a second, but as I said, the day yesterday, and Harvey touched on it, the finish, the last race of the regatta was by far the best in terms of the conditions. It was a beautiful northeasterly with incoming tide, so it was sort of flat water. It wasn't wind against tide. So it was just fantastic.
Very cool. Very cool. I think as we've worked out, they enjoyed their celebrations last night and a few heavy heads. So I just want to remind the boys and the ladies that, of course, with our friends at Radix Nutrition, it's functional nutrition designed to support consistent vitality. And
recovery.
Yeah, yep. So for that health and vitality and recovery element, if you want to jump onto Radix Nutrition, use Barkarati as your discount code. It might be the ultimate hangover cure, I suspect. So that's what I would suggest, and I'm sure a few people have already pre-prepared themselves for that.
It probably wasn't in their design philosophy when they put the whole project together. It was probably more based on the fact that you go and physically exert yourself and you push yourself to the limits, and then you have to have a recovery shake in the morning.
Yeah,
but we can say that it was definitely for hangover recovery.
Yeah. One person we didn't get to ask was skipper of our boat, the Barkarati boat, Ian Turnbull. He works in the sailing industry. He's got his own business, and so I'm wondering whether he would have embraced our friends at Disruptor Marine Marketing, because he had to do a few days without leave without pay. So I think his company's Rope for Boats or something. I think he's a rigger from memory.
Have you ever tried to answer your phone while you're out on wire on 18 and 25 knots?
Yeah, or up a mast. Like if you're a rigger, you're often up a mast. So I think, I'm pretty sure Bob's company is Rope for Boats. But if he, while he's away, he just used the Disruptor Marine Marketing, DISRUPTA, get the buy spot to handle all the calls coming in, and you don't have to worry about missing any leads or opportunities. And
well, it just means at the end of the day, or you put in half an hour or an hour at the end of the day, just checking everything, and it's all sorted for you. So you don't have to worry about answering the phone during the day. So you've already made up. Probably by the time you stop to pick up the phone or answer it or do what you need to do, you've probably spent. And I see it. I watch it happen unfold in front of me with other people. They probably spend the best part of an hour, 2 hours just answering the phone and talking nothing, which may not lead to something.
You can get a 30-minute demo, free demo. You can just try and see how many leads you're currently missing. So if you just want to jump onto the website, disruptormarinemarketing.com.au, and that's for globally, for any company in the world, if you're in the
global is the key here. Yep.
Take it on. So that's our suggestion. They're our sponsor. We only tie up with sponsors who we believe will benefit our listeners. So that's purely our motivation. We knock back all the other sponsorships. And genuinely, we do knock back a lot.
We get a lot of inquiries.
We get a lot of weird ones. There's some weird ones.
It goes straight to Disruptor.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Last day, I think yesterday might have been the last day to enter for the Brisbane to Gladstone. That's coming up in a couple of weeks, Easter Friday. So if you haven't entered, maybe check today. But for those looking forward to providing the commentary for that, what is happening right now is the Dragon Gold Cup major event in the sailing world. Their beautiful Dragon class. Their Gold Cup is underway, 14 to 21 March in Mallorca in Spain. You know that place well, BP.
I do know that place very, very well, and I can tell you this time of year it's still a little bit on the edge. Can be a little bit cooler, but the Dragon's massive in that part of the world, and Portugal in particular. So not far for them to travel. The fleet would be huge and very hotly contested. So we might keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, it's a big one. Super keen on that one, and I wouldn't mind doing a Dragon Gold Cup. That's something that I wouldn't mind having a go at. They got a great fleet down in Tasmania, but it's a bit cold down there.
Yeah, it's quite a good fleet here in Sydney too. But anyway.
Yeah, good fleet. So I remember the Gold Cup one year. Last time it was in Europe, I think it's 300 boats or something. So
it's up there.
Yeah. All right, listener of the week, presented by our friends at Vycobi. And as I say, friends, our best friends is the way we're going to describe them, because they are amazing and they've done so much. And so if you want to be friends with our best friends at Vycobi, check out some of their...
You want to hang out with the cool kids.
The cool kids and all the amazing technical gear, which you would have seen on all the 18s and stuff, and the great logos. Or if you want shirts printed, they do this amazing corporate gear. Jump on to Vycobi, or you could just send in a really cool email or two, and you might get a couple of $100 of free gear, which Vycobi will give you every month for being the best contribution on a monthly basis. And we had a couple of contributions this week. Both of them, the two that I want to mention, around how we should run our program a little bit better, barcode a bit better, which is cool. First one's from Brent Roon at Roon Racing. Hello from Northern California, long-time listener, first-time caller. Maybe Disruptor can provide you with an AI buy spot for when he's being hammered by rum squalls in the Caribbean. Keep up the good work. Mahalo, Brent.
I love it. That's a brilliant one. That's probably another example of how you could do it. Got a party to go to.
I love it. I love it.
On the bot.
I've never heard the term rum squalls. I love that. I just think that's fantastic. So,
you know what happens when rum and festivities go together. It turns into a bit of a violent squall, a bit like the Tasmanian devil going down the shop.
I love it. Scotty Patton, who we talked to on the show a bit, he's a mad, passionate man, and he has a real passion for growing our sport, and we're a big fan of Scotty and all the work he does. Hey, lads, I reckon a really cool story coming out of the 18s is definitely downhill skiing aside. I know it's hard to resist, as funny as it is, but Scott and Dave Cunningham, seriously, understanding how difficult it is to achieve the result they got is so important. They sail in Macrae, which is in Victoria, train in Brisbane, which is in Queensland, about 2,500 kilometres away, and race in Sydney, which is about 1,100. So let's call it 2,000. So
It's crazy.
It is big. This dedication is nuts and a serious sacrifice to family life in the pursuit of sailing. This must be mentioned. Scott and Dave teach young kids to sail at their local club in Macrae on Saturday, and those kids then get to see their sailing instructors racing on TV on the Sunday. This is so critical in the development of new sailors, seeing their instructors race. This cannot and must not go unnoticed or recognised. If I could pull rank, I would, but it's not my podcast. If you want Scotty's contact, I'll give it to you. And he signs it off Scotty because he's a Scot as well, obviously. So Scotty and Scotty. And then he wrote, P.S. all Scotties are great. Just saying. Nice.
Well, we do hear you.
I think we will definitely get him on the show.
I don't have a problem with that because I got to tell you, it's an amazing story.
Yeah.
And, you know, we were talking about
the highlight joke of the year already. So.
It's conversation of the year, to be honest. I mean, it's going to come up time and time again, and be a great chat to have with them. But the you know, we touched on it with Emma. The fleet is so strong, and for them to get the result they got, third overall in the end, wasn't it? From memory, we'll touch on it in a sec.
1 second. As soon as you shut up, we'll touch on it.
yeah, that's it. All right, go on.
All right, moving on.
It's hot time
without Bice.
Without Bice again.
Oh, we miss him. The show's definitely better with three of us.
And I'm pretty sure the listeners miss him too.
Oh, yeah.
He's such an idiot. He is the biggest idiot.
Of the idiots. For sure. Our three idiot mates, or two idiot mates. So he'll be back. As I said, I spoke to him last night. He was in St. Bart's. He was having a good time. Right. 18s. Congratulations. We haven't really congratulated the team of Yandu. So Herman Winning, Fang Warren and Lewis Brake.
I think we have to sort of pat ourselves on the back here a little bit and reverse curse, of course.
Yeah. There's
no way they would have done it without us.
Exactly right. They were fast, hey? They were almost enjoying themselves yesterday. They were out there enjoying the conditions, I think. But I was watching them all week. On last Sunday, it was the windy day. It sort of, when I say windy, it was 30. We saw a maximum 32 knots when they were just starting, and then by the time we got back, watched the start, watched the bottom mark, it was 20, 25 knots. They were so far in front. Unbelievable. And then we got back to the club, the Royal Sydney Yacht Squadron, and we can see the wing mark where they come back and they come up from Shark and come to Shark Island towards the club. The club, yeah.
And there was a whiteout in terms of rain and like literally 5 knots.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And so you got to understand, if you think about that sort of, sailing, you've got the extremities. You've got flat out fanging along, fang. Yeah, there we go again. Cruising along at bloody, 20 plus knots. And then you've got the tricky, shifty 5 knots with all these clouds everywhere and rain. It was just insane.
So True and Partners Australia, Keegan York, Max Paul, Tommy Anderson, that team looks like, once they just sort their heads out, will be a real threat. They're definitely going gangbusters. So I think, as I said, apologies if it upsets them, but, more focus on themselves, less focus on Yandu, and I think they would have been much more of a threat. GC Sales, as you mentioned. Lazarus, I'm a big fan of Lazarus. Obviously, Tommy Kunich is a young lad I coached in the past.
All got a little connection to us, mate.
Well, that's the nature of our sport, isn't it? Sailing, we all know each other, so it's a good thing. Everyone.
A couple of reverse curse, first and second. Then we've got Joke of the Year in third.
Yeah. It was funny.
And then, of course, you've coached 4th place. So, it's good.
Mark and Tim, I coached him a long time ago when you were sailing at 420. The Black Knight stood out. They were great. The Martin brothers with the Prince, that was very cool. So that top 5 was, they were all looking glamour. I was hoping for the New Zealanders to push more and the Queenslanders to push more. But I thought the whole thing was great. It's been great fun. I hope everyone's enjoyed it.
Oh, look, I mean... we touched on it again a few times. The level of sailing was insane. I mean, Balmain were a favourite. They battled hard. They struggled. I was very impressed with Vycobi in the end. So yes, to Carol, I am mentioning it again. They had a really good regatta, and yesterday in particular, they were just off third, so a nice fourth yesterday. So, they were a real standout for me in the fleet.
Yeah, very cool. Right, moving on. So IQ4 Games, the second one of the year, that's been in Cadiz. They look like they had great conditions. I've been watching some of the videos throughout the week. So the local lass, Pilar Lamadrid, she was in first, so she won the females, which is great. So in her home waters, which is very, very cool. And then in the men, it was the Brazilian. That's right, Matthias Isaac. Sorry, it took me a while. Every male in Brazil is called Matthias. I think that is the law. But yeah. So that's getting hot. Obviously, the Olympic class, there's plenty of youth, under 19s, under 17s, there's all sorts going on there. The other news is the America's Cup boats have started sailing now. We saw the Kiwis are out. There's rumour of a new team, BP. Have you heard this? I
haven't. No, I've had my head in the sand with this one. I just saw it on the run sheet there and went, oh, some news, good.
Yeah. So Matt Sheehan's got a bit of a discussion about it on his latest episode on YouTube, if you jump onto Matty Sheehan. But the basis of it is...
Planet Sail, that is, yep.
Planet Sail, correct. If you jump on... Matty. They've sort of delayed the closing of the entry date, and that's what's making everyone think it's happening. But remember, you can't build a new boat, so they've got to find, if there is a team, they've got to find a boat from somewhere and do it. But apparently, we will hear, according to Matty, by the end of this month. So if you are interested in the Cup, which we all
stand by, watch this space.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And so, which boat are they going to get? That's going to be interesting as well. So we'll see what happens. And then the other big one that we
may lose that. We may lose our Barkarati barge. You reckon?
No.
No.
The big fella's a fan. He's still the race officer, I think. So we're good. And Mel's a massive fan. She's Ian Murray and Mel, who do the race officer stuff. Mel will let me get away with anything. We're great mates. So we're good. We're good. I celebrate. She's an amazing lass. So just if Mel's listening, we're big fans of you as well. You're a champion. We should get her on the show, actually. She does some pretty cool stuff.
I love the way we organise things during the show.
The Mini Glow Race, the finish, it's been going for 180 days, 190 days, couple of hundred days.
World in 180 days.
Congratulations to the Swiss sailor.
What an effort.
Sittelman, he's been dominant. One thing that has got better and better is Dan Turner throughout. He was always right near the front, but he's made himself number two. So he, in a mortal game, finishing second.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, fantastic performance. And then Kerry Harris coming in third. And then it just goes from there. So there's quite a bit. But we will follow up on that Globe Ocean race. I think they're actually planning to go again.
Talk about commitments to sailing, far out.
Yeah. So when I say they sailed for 180, 190 days, the race started just over a year ago, 385 days ago. So because they've had all the downtime between legs and stuff. So it's an adventure, and I think we're both
adventure sailing, which is what we're talking about.
Yeah. So I think it's very cool. Very cool, BP. I'm not sure I would do that. I'm not.
No, I'm not.
A lot of them that
I'm not
me.
partial to it.
No,
I'm not partial to it.
No, sticking myself in a 5.5 metre plywood box. Yeah. Dan, we'll find out. We'll talk to Dan. I know we're mates with Dan. He's a Lincoln boy, so we can get in close with him. So, yeah, I think that's it for us this week, my friend.
Yeah, that's it. We're all done.
It's a good show. Good chat.
JJ's are done. JJ's are done, and I'm a year older.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday.
All right. Well, there'll be another event next couple of weeks. I don't know what is coming up, but there'll be another event that reminds me.
I can't handle it. That sailing's stopping. I'm freaking out. That means Europe's coming online though, and the US is coming online, so we're good.
Well, yeah, my US season starting.
Yeah, we'll discuss
big things to come there. So listen out for that one.
All right, we will. Thanks for listening, everyone. Remember to jump online and check out disruptormarinemarketing.com.au, DISRUPTA.
Your global buy spot.
Your global buy spot. Check out Radix Nutrition. Use Bar Karate as the discount code, one word. And then our friends at By Kobe. Do yourself a favour. The best kid. So send us a note at cheers@barkarate.com. I'm just doing so much quoting at the end. It's become quite the thing, hasn't it? We do talk a lot. Hopefully the listeners, they're all switched off by now, but stuff them, we'll keep promoting.
I want people to listen to my song.
Yeah, good song. It's been played for millions. It's been played millions of times now, you realise?
Yeah, I know, that's the problem.
If you've only got $1 each time, PP.
Oh, how many times have you hit that? If I only had $1, how many times I've said that?
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next week.
Cheers.